Cause this ain't a protest, this a lifestyle change, which means my child is your child. Protect and respect our queen. Hell of a thing to be melanin made.
Baby fat, I don't want no smoke. It ain't no secret, they know all of us are dope. They know, and our people need us. We can't let fight this battle alone. No. We done lost some folks and we can't lose no more.
So mama,
breaking bread, making plans, building with my brothers.
Breaking bread, making plans, building with my brothers. Breaking bread, making plans, building with my brothers.
Breaking bread, making plans, breaking bread, making plans, breaking bread, making plans.
Round of applause for that. One more time.
Making plans, building with my brothers. Breaking bread, making plans, building with
String round of applause one more time.
Making plans, breaking bread, making plans.
What up, what up, what up? Good afternoon, good night, good morning, man. Good evening to some of y'all, man. Welcome back to the world, man. We made it. We back at it. You know what I mean? It's another Monday. You survived. You're a survivor. Welcome into the program. Let's go live with Lamont King. Let's go. Good to see y'all, man. Hey, could have gone the other way, but it did not. And you are here. Shout out to you and yours, and I hope everybody's safe and had a good weekend. This is Let's Go Live with Lamont King. I am Lamont King every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 East Coast time. Shout out to all the homies on the West Coast and everybody across the world today, which is the moment we've been waiting for. We've been soft launching for several weeks. And today we are live inside the Humor Mill app, your number one source for comedy news and entertainment. The Humor Mill app, I've been prepping y'all, training y'all for the last few weeks. Download the app. We are live streaming right now inside the app. So shout out to everybody watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, watching on the Twitters, Periscope. We're streaming in 18 destinations and coming real big out of the Humor Mill app. So shout out to that whole situation. Good to see y'all, man. Check in on, give me thumbs up on the check-in. Let me know what you're listening on, what you're watching on. Thumbs up on the check-in. All right, we got a lot to talk about today, man. Let's go through housekeeping. Let's go through the motions. Don't act like you ain't ever been here before. Download the Humor Mill app. Also, become a patron on Patreon. For those of y'all that I ain't good with the technology. Go to Patreon, and I got all my content in there. And here's the thing: it's all in one location. You ain't got to be my social media friend. We ain't got to be friends. Just go to Patreon and see it and subscribe and add it to your list of subscriptions. I don't be asking for much, like $3, $5, $7. We got different levels: $3, $5, $7. 3 get you some shit right here. 5 get you a little bit more. 7 get you everything. And you ask yourself, what is everything? Well, we don't know yet. We still building the channel. So relax. All right. Just, All right. And so for everybody else who like to, just slide that money out, you got that loose money. Cash App, Lamont King 06, $ Cash App, $ Lamont King 06. So there's that. And as always, this show is brought to you in part by drunkenfruit.com. Hey, man, the flavors. That's all I'm going to say. When you go to the site, the flavors. That's all I'm going to say. The flavors. All right. So I got to, let's do this. We do this too. All of our new donors from the previous show, we like to mention you and give you your proper due. We only be asking for like $1 a show. If you're watching, you're like, oh, I mess with this. I can watch this every day. Just throw $1 at us, man. We won't ask for much. Some people give more, some people get less. It's all good. So we got to, let's see. Let's make sure I got this correct and bring this one of our new partners up. One of our new partners. Yes, here we go. Raul Rubio in New York, block captain in Brooklyn, civic activist, and all-around purveyor of good times, wanted to sponsor the show. So he threw some money at us and said, make sure this opening segment is sponsored by Chocodow Twinkies, Breakfast of Champions, fun size. So he spent some money and co-sponsored this, and then this is our sponsor for this moment. Thank you, Raul Rubio. And that's all it takes, man. That's all you really got to do. throw some money at us. We highlight you, give you some love, and that's what it is. We back at it. So you can name your sponsorship. It can be whatever you want it to be for. He wanted his money to go to a shout out for Chocodile Twinkies, and there's that. All right, man. All right, so also shout out to everybody sitting on their floor and watching us like a TV show. I got my homies down in North Carolina, my man Smurf and the crew. Be watching the joint like it's like I'm Don Lemon, and I'm with it. I appreciate you. It's a good move. We can't go anywhere without you, so we appreciate you. And so that's what it is, man. Humor Mill, the app, apparently, from what I've been told at the last marketing meeting, we're available on 200 million devices. So 1% of that is 2 million. So hopefully 2 million people are hearing about this show today for the first time, and they're going. So what it is it's just, let's go live, man. Hot topics, a little funny, a little serious. It's better than everything you could be watching right now somewhere else. Just put that thumb pin that. Be like, what is it? Somebody come in the room. What you watching? What they said is better than anything I could be doing right now. So that's the description. All right, that's all it is, man. So relax. But today, let's get to it. A lot to talk about it, man. I want to briefly touch on. I want your opinion. I'm gonna let y'all Skype in later too. You want to jump on the show? Let the people see you. Kanye has announced his 2020 presidential bid. We got to flush that out. Your president, coward in chief, he took a shot at Bubba Wallace. We got to touch on that. Amy Cooper, the white lady in Central Park that called the police on the bird watcher, or tried to call the police on the bird watcher. She just got hit with some criminal charges. You'll never believe which one. And Ghislaine Maxwell, is day 4, day 5 of her in custody? We're on Ghislaine-Watch. Trying to see how long that's going to last before she gets Epsteined. All right. And also a big conversation I'm expecting. Washington Redskins are considering a name change. We're trying to figure out what is it going to be. All right, but now my first guest I want to bring into the show. Let's go live, man. This gentleman is a comic comedian, producer, show producer out of New York City, who I had the chance of meeting in late fall, right before the big lockdown. And it's the power of social media, man. We met through social media, man, through posts and kind of starting a conversation. Well, what you do? What did you do? When you gonna be up here? Well, I'm gonna be up there then. All right, we'll come through. I'm coming through. And next day, we collaborating on some stuff. This guy, very funny, he's got his business IQ on 1,000. So I brought him on the show to talk it up and see what he's been doing lately. Please welcome from the Comedy Come Up 365 crew, my man, Joe Hill. Welcome to the program, Joe Hill. Let's go live.
Lamont Boogie, what up, baby?
What's up with ya? How you feeling?
Having me, man. Well, first of all, man, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm with the fam. What's the word they've been using? Sheltering in place. I don't know if we can still use that terminology. Yeah. But I'm on the West Coast right now. So I'm loving this vibe of just getting things done and being able to be here and chop it up with you, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now let's go back. We always do a background check. Mm-hmm. Tell the people how long you've been in the game and where you came from and all that.
Born and raised in the Bronx, New York. First of all, BX all day. Got to throw the X up. I've been doing stand-up it's going on 12 years now. And it's interesting because I don't consider myself the same path that a lot of comedians, have taken to get to comedy. Some have started when they were really young. Some people, got the alley-oop. For me, I was a city worker, and I always was naturally funny and wanted to bring people together. So that's where the producer lane came. And then producing comedy shows forced me to write and, step into that light of being a stand-up comedy. So, 12 years representing New York, man, Now,
when you say city worker, like what? Like what kind?
I don't know if you knew this. I
didn't.
I'm a dean of a high school, Board of Education. I've been doing it for 18 years. But I'm tired of working with everybody's kids, Lamont. I'm tired of working with everybody's kids at this point.
Wait a minute. 18 years? No, I did not know that. Dean of a high school. Like Mr.
Started at the bottom, school aid, worked my way up and, started, like I said, you fast forward. I worked at a couple of schools, some in the Lower East Side, and where I'm at now, I'm in a school in Harlem. So yeah, right now I'm nowhere. School's closed.
Right. No, but like this now I'm interested because I had no clue. Like, so Mr. Clark with the bullhorn, or you kind of know?
Yeah, bro, listen, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend during You know what I'm saying? I'm here to get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, that's big. That's big. Yeah. That puts things into a whole nother perspective because you're the type of guy, and we haven't known each other long, but you really extend opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And you create and share work. What we call in the game, share work. You share the work. And for you to be in the school system and still be that type of person, that's big because the school system will wear your ass down.
I know.
It will change you.
You know, and thank God for comedy. You know? So, thank God for comedy. You know?
That's what's up. And so this virtual thing, man, we all had to pivot. And you were one of the first cats I was clocking. Like you pivoted very, very well. Like you really haven't missed a beat. And I got to be honest, full transparency, you had me on your show way early, right? And you had that mic. And I got to get a mic. I didn't have a mic until I saw your mic. Pause. I saw yours and I said, I got to get me one. Pause.
First of all, let me give props. This is my lady's mic. First of all, she's an artist. So, shout out to, for the fam, let me use it. But yes, presentation is everything. And I didn't want to start off, without the proper, things I felt I needed, because I felt like this was going to be more than just a temporary thing. I felt like this was going to be something that we were going to create for a long term with this virtual thing. So
yeah. So all right. So to that point, right? So lay out what you were doing before the sheltering in place. Like you had weekly shows, you had monthly shows, you had a comedy crew, you had rooms.
Yes.
In New York.
Just to put full transparency out there, I had a monthly at Dangerfields, a Living Color comedy series. We were in conjunction with my boy K Smith, our comedy crew, Underground Comedy. We were at Comic Strip. He has a monthly, so we were shuffling in and out, and doing a lot of stuff on the bigger scale, using like the Triad Theater, pivoting our way into Caroline's and on the road. So I had a special March 27th planned, and when the COVID hit, I'm gonna be honest. At first, I was looking at everybody else's shit getting stopped, and I'm like, nah, it's still 2 weeks out.
Right.
Still 2 weeks out. All right, it's 2 weeks out. All right.
Soon. Yeah, right.
So the pivot came with everything going on, the momentum, and it just stopped. And I just was, I was in the shower, true story, and I said, I'm gonna put out a mixtape. I said, I can't give the people that special, but at least I can extend this to them. Everybody got Apple Music, everybody's digital now. So the mixtape was birthed out of me wanting to keep the content going. So yeah, the momentum was crazy, but thank God for the COVID. It allowed us to do other stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, you gotta think that if you got recurring shows and you just taking them online, they're still recurring shows. Like you had a music situation going on Monday. Yes, you had Wednesday new artist spotlight. You had Saturday Night Live. You had you could do it every week and still draw people in. So I mean that in itself was big just to be able to pull that off.
Yes, sir.
But so the future of it though? What do you people starting going back? I toured with Bruce for 2 years, and I saw a post today that said he's going back. He's in Huntsville or Birmingham, Alabama, July 10th through the 13th, and I was like, wow, he going back
early.
You know what I'm saying? And these the big cats is out there. You saw DL.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the big cats is getting back out there. What do you feel about that?
Me personally, versus the comic of me, I'm torn because I want to get back out there, but also I'm trying to be conscious of not trying to catch anything at the same time. So, I feel like maybe end of August, maybe a good time to test the waters and put my skin out there and see, you know what I'm saying? But I do love, well, let me just say this. Virtual comedy has been there before the COVID. There were a lot of producers and a lot of comedians using platforms like a Zoom or like a Restream to get their content. A lot of us just came on due to the COVID, and then we kind of adapted, like you said, pivot to that. But for me, I think it's something that you can add to your comedy game. Howie Bell said it best, our good brother. He said, I could still hit the road and tour, but then I could sit here on my couch and get paid to do a show. I don't got to get dressed. right
Yeah.
here. I think it's an addition for entrepreneurs like us to take your content to more digital now and keep streaming revenue of some sort.
Now I remember you talking about that date, that you had set to do your special.
Yes, March 27th.
Right, and then you ended up coming to DC to do a run, do a drive of the show,
which was a month before.
And so now I just saw the other day that's the special.
Actually, it's not. Okay. So the special, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, originally, that's my method to my madness. I guess, for my body of work, I wanted to, use that theme. Life, there's only so many things we can control, and I wanted to use that theme to talk about some of the shit we just can't give a fuck about. We should be our time, our energy. So that's still coming. And I gotta get that off the ground and do live. But what you're talking about is coming out Labor Day. I call it the Black Labor Day now. September 7th, live from Chocolate City with Joe Hill. So yes, I'm putting that out as an official comedy album.
But don't take away from what I said. That's a special. Shit.
Right, it is.
Yeah, that's your first hour, and then the one after that is the next hour.
You're right.
And then and then when the world open up back up, you be like, yeah, I just dropped 2 hours in 2020. You know what I'm saying? During the lockdown.
Yeah.
And they be like, yeah, damn, 2 hours.
You said it. When I dropped the mixtape, you said, oh shit, he ain't playing. He got the
mixtape. Yeah. I was like, hey, you gotta keep it moving.
But I gotta give you props before you go to the next part. The cover, putting the face on something that catches the eye, and what you did with the 50 Cent, that was something that it was definitely a reference point for me to say, wait a minute, should I put out something with my face? And then I got, other references, my lady was like, you know what? No, put something that's going to stand out. So when I start comparing the references and I saw it, someone that actually did it like yourself, you did it with one of the greatest 50 Cent album covers with the bulletproof, the glass. And
it was a mixtape too. That was a mixtape.
And it was a mixtape. So I think, it's good to see that, you know what I'm saying? Like minds think alike and going that route. So I got to give you props to that.
I appreciate that. And let me do a commercial for that right now. It was from 2003. It was Get Laughs or Die Trying, my mixtape. Yeah. It's on Spotify. And when it plays, I still get paid. So if y'all go to Spotify, I think it's like 2 cents per stream, but that's fine. That shit adds up.
Add up.
Yeah, that shit adds up. But yeah, man. So how hard is it to stay funny though? During
great question. I mean, I think in comedy you either got it or you don't, and then there's that area where you work at getting better as a comedian. But how do you stay funny? I think for me, how do I stay funny? Staying within myself. I feel like just being in the house for the last 3 months, that's another 4 specials alone. And
yeah.
I just haven't been able to record it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like itching to get back on stage in front of folks like that capacity. But how do you stay funny? I think and you know this, we find funny in everything.
Yeah, true.
Going to the damn store, you might write something down, you may say a joke to yourself while you drive. Oh, I got to put that down. So I think in this time, I've gotten better at writing things down right away even more. Yeah. I used to, I'll put it down later and then I forget it. Now it's like, whoa, you've really been collecting a lot of material for the last 3 months. So
and you got the time too. We got the time to do it. You get
got time today.
We used to get distracted. My method before was write into the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, I would write notes sometimes, but I would say it into the voice memo. So even whatever, if I forgot, if I got too busy, if I never even finished the bit, I could always come back to it.
That's a fact.
Oh, damn, what was I talking about? Oh, I was thinking that at that time, you weirdo.
Yeah.
I could
reference it, right.
Still had it. It didn't disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's that. All right. So tomorrow, speaking of Black Labor Day, everything's black now. We done blacked everything. I don't know how long this is gonna go, but I don't even know how long they're gonna let us do it. We blacking everything, and tomorrow is apparently a Blackout Tuesday.
Okay.
Are you hip? You familiar? July 7th, where we supposed
to buy something tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Uh-oh.
I was supposed to get an upgrade on my phone, but this Mercury Retro. I've heard of it. I think definitely, social media has, I would say, this coming of the age. You can tweet something, you can get a lot of people behind something. I just don't know what the statistics going to look like about folks actually following through on not buying, because you can wake up and forget something, see a sale.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you then you see the post like, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to buy this today.
Yeah. We were talking on our Friday show, which is called All Fun and Games. We were talking on Friday that this is when the setup is going to come. You going to go right to your inbox and it's going to be like 70% off of all the shit you like. That's what the subject line is going to say. You can't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm optimistic. It's going to be real quiet though tomorrow. It's going to be real quiet for those people who want you to believe that they observing blackout tomorrow.
Okay.
It's going to be real quiet. You know what I mean? Even though they spending money on the low, they're not going to know. Yeah.
That cart is full right now somewhere.
Yeah.
Some website, that cart is full.
Or load the cart up today, tomorrow, and then fire on Wednesday. Yeah.
My question to you is ties into the dates. Are you into the Mercury retrograde and not buying things during this time of reflection, universal astrology energy and all that good stuff? Like
some of it, yes, some of it, no. Mercury retrograde has always been very complicated to me.
Right.
Like I don't understand. I've had somebody break it down and then I've read about it, but I haven't been able to, to be like, oh shit, that is
right.
Put my finger on it. But I know crazy stuff happens and they say, don't take on a new job at the beginning of retrograde and don't start new things and so I never got into that aspect. I'm hip to energies and dealing with people at certain times, but the Mercury in retrograde, it's confusing. I don't even understand what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, nah. But I pay attention. Got to pay attention though. But we got a question from they like to call themselves the Peanut Gallery, but this is our executive producer of the show, actually, Mr. Clarkson. He said, "Do you fear, going back to the point about comedy and staying funny, do you fear crossing the line of being politically correct in this sensitive climate?"
No. And let me just say even more so, I've always lived by this kind of creed, like Cedric. And my creed of comedy has always been, I'm gonna say what I want to say. And I'm gonna be honest, as comedians, we're the only people I feel where we can say stuff, and we should be able to say stuff because we're actually relating to what the truth is. A lot of times we're saying stuff that, it's already in the air. It's happening on television. We say it. Oh, you're taken back by it. So no, I think in the climate even more, I think we need to speak up even more. And I think we need to use our platform to, speak on all type of, injustices and shit more so than we did before the COVID happened. I think this is the perfect time.
Right. There are some things, I ain't gonna lie, there are some thoughts when I'm really, really brainstorming, or a lot of times even when I'm not, but there's some thoughts that'll come in and I'll literally in my head have this conversation and be like, that's hilarious. I know I can't say that.
I don't know. Lamont, let me say this. You are a very intelligent comedian. From seeing you live, seeing you work, there's definitely, and that's somewhere I need to improve as a comedian. You want to get more that social climate stuff in your set even more. And I see you do it a lot, and I definitely see you incorporate that. So I don't know. I just think you just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just if it's there for a reason for you to perform.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be some harsh. It'd be some, because when I started my career, I was very blue. I was very dark. And for people that don't know what blue is like super, super vulgar, super, blue. I guess that's the best way you can describe it. And somebody had told me, was mentoring me or coaching me, and they were like, you gotta get away from that, or at least make it look different.
Okay.
Because it didn't match. I had some other shit, and then I have a blue chunk, and then I'll have the relationship chunk, and then growing up, and it didn't match.
Yep.
So I couldn't weave it in. But now I save most of the blue stuff for like Twitter. Because
you say about is it the Harriet Tubman or the Han nigga, the Hanukkah joke?
Oh, Hanukkah, yeah.
That right there is my favorite right there. I'll be waiting for that one. Come on with it. That's real though. That's
yeah.
Oh man.
Now I'm gonna tell you the one that I'm speaking about. Right?
Okay.
Is dealing with. I probably will never get to say it, so I'll say it in context right now. Right? So
We live with it.
yeah, I mean, hey, fuck it. This human being. So I was watching, people reacting to the Confederate tearing down. White people, they say, well, none of my ancestors had slaves, and none of my relatives ever owned slaves, and they always say the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, how ignorant would it be for somebody like me to say, you come up to me talking about the Holocaust, and I'm like, well, none of my ancestors ever owned an oven. You know what I'm saying? If I went that hard,
right,
in public, I'm canceled.
You get an email by 12:30, easy.
But it's real though. So it's like those are the ones where now everybody's on edge. You just, it's like, it's not censoring, but you just got to be smarter.
Right.
I feel like speaking for me, it's like I really can't say everything, what I'm saying, that I want to say.
That's a fact.
So, and so it's a whole, I got a whole page of those. Like, okay. That's harsh.
You got to put them out. I think you might have to drop something too. I know you got something coming.
Yeah. In Twitter, maybe. But yeah, Twitter's like a free for all.
It definitely is.
It's ridiculous.
You want for real?
Like, I smack at the president and all types of go at him.
That's a fact.
I was telling my mother the other day. I go at Trump all the time. Be like, shut your ass up. Sit down. If he get it, he get it. But
he get it.
But yeah. All right. So the September 7th is you dropping your first special of 2020.
Yes.
And what's your social media?
My social media is at This Is Joe Hill. I should have put it in the box instead of the Joe Hill. But This Is Joe Hill. That's my website also. You can follow me there. And you can, because I'm gonna be getting a different approach for this promotion as we lead up to it. So it's a good time. And it was in DC, Chocolate City. So we definitely gonna do something dope with the artwork that caters to what's going on right now to get you.
And I was boosted when I seen you released the info, because I was like, oh yeah, I was at that show. That's so good. Oh, yeah. I was like, that was good work.
At that show, you killed that show. You did a crazy hard 15. I'm trying to get up there. First of all, shout out to Haywood out there at the DC.
Haywood Tournament, that's my man, yeah.
And Jamon Darnell, our host that night. But you a boss out there, so it made sense if I'm coming into your city and I'm doing something that big for you to be a part of that.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was good work. And people don't realize like how hard 60 minutes of comedy is to come up with.
Yes, sir.
I don't care who you think you are or how funny you are. 60 minutes is that's like in comedy, that's the benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
That hour, and that shit is difficult. That's why I used to, back in the early days of Kevin Hart, I used to tell people, I was like, just keep watching, keep paying attention.
There you go.
He's dropping an hour every 10 months, which is like impossible. You know how much you got to live to and experience and to think of and to see and come up with a new, and then we saw it. Now people are like comedy connoisseurs now.
Exactly.
Now they know the language, they know what to look for. Right. What Dave did even topped that. Because you're like, wait a minute, I'm watching 3 specials drop in a year, and you're talking an hour plus, and none of it is the same material?
None of it.
Like, what is you on, fam? Like, what planet?
I love it. It's so motivating to see that. And I think sitting home during the COVID and you seeing people drop their specials and you say, well, shit, I got material too that I could put out. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of see it in the comedy circuit now. You're starting to see more people, like shout out to Marshall Brandon. Marshall Brandon put out 2 albums. I said, nigga, you put out the first one, I was hyped, and then you dropped the second one. I said, oh, this motherfucker here.
Yeah. I couldn't even celebrate it and enjoy it yet. Yeah.
Exactly. Two-Ray from Philly. Two-Ray got 2 more coming out, and he dropped one already. So it's like, that's what I love to see. It's us pushing each other, because I'm sure we all like you said, we paying attention to the landscape. And if you're a true comic and you study the game, you should be paying attention to the landscape of what's going on around you. So.
Yeah, absolute. Well, there it is, folks. Joe Hill got the special coming September 7th. Follow him on social media. He'll follow you back.
Yes,
highly active, highly engaging. I appreciate you, man. Be safe out there.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk soon.
We'll talk. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Yes, sir.
My man Joe Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute. Joe Hill, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's keep it moving. Yeah, you saw. Yeah, I had to sneak that one in there because I'll probably never be able to say that one in public again, but I had to. All right, let's see here. Anybody want to jump in and we about to get started in these trending topics, these headlines, because it was a slow news weekend, and then Monday I'm like, damn, all that happened this weekend? That's ridiculous. So if you got Skype, I'm trying something different on the fly since we're live right now on the Humor Mill app. If you got Skype, find Let's Go Live on Skype. And as soon as it start ringing, I'll just bring you on the show. Just play around a little bit. All right. So first up, Kanye West. He's announcing that he announced, let me see if I can find that. He announced that he's running. It was like the message was, cryptic, Kanye cryptic, if you will. And he announced that he's running for 2020 presidential race. I don't know how. When I saw it, I just brushed by it, right? I was like, okay. But then when I saw everybody getting all beside themselves and all some kind of way about it, I was like, let me read a little bit into it. And I was like, well, wait a minute, how? Like, as what? As a write-in? You ain't got no there was no petition to get you on the thing. You missed the primaries. Like, what is the album coming out, dog? You about to drop music. I bet you the name of the album is I'm Running for President in 2020. It's got to be what it is. You about to drop music in the middle of the night, trying to steer attention away. Now everybody's on this whole he's gonna split the vote and it's he's just an agent of Trump and if he gets on the ballot and people really write his name in, that's gonna be votes away from Biden. Is it though? Is Kanye splitting the vote? Like, let's be for real. Let's everybody slow down, take a seat, and breathe. Is Kanye West really going to split? And which vote? What is it automatically? Here's the confusing part. He's been campaigning for the last few years on the side of 45. So he's been building like a little base of people that's like, yeah, the Democratic Party really has taken advantage of us. The party of Lincoln, blah, blah, blah. He been on Make America Great. He got the hat on. Like, think about it. If he split any vote, it's going to be on that side. So that might be what y'all want. Like, I'm trying to figure out why everybody's spazzing and panicking. If he split any vote, like if you don't like him for whatever reason, and mainly because for the last 2-3 years he's been a 45 dick rider, and then now he says he's running, but he was with them, so his fans are on that side. So I don't think his fans would be, or people that would take him serious would be Biden voters. That's the part that I can't figure out why y'all in such an uproar. I mean, slow news day, sure. You miss his music. Okay. You want the old Kanye. All right. But what vote is he splitting? What vote do you think he's going to split? That's the part I don't get. What vote do you think he's going to split? Is he splitting the MAGA vote? Because if he splits the MAGA vote, then all right, you should be with that. I figure if you were on the fence with thinking about voting for Biden, you're not voting for Kanye. Get out of here, man. All right. I just found that odd. So he's weird. Let's see. What y'all saying? Just some fuckery, per usual. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just fuckery. Bored. He's probably bored. He said in 2019 that he'll possibly run in 2024. I remember that. But this is this weekend. This announcement was this weekend. In a tweet. And we go nuts. In a tweet is when he announced it. But whatever. Also, your man woke up today with Bubba Wallace on his mind. 45 woke up with Bubba on his mind. He couldn't get Bubba off of his mind. He was thinking about Bubba Wallace, and I guess he was bored. So he said, "This is what he says." And I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it on the screen and we'll talk about it. Because he actually tweeted, Kanye's taking a page out of Donald Trump's book, and so let's see. Oh no, that's what Bubba's response was. So the president went at Bubba Wallace and said he needs to apologize. And here we go. I got it. Just want y'all to see this so y'all can be like, oh, you made that up. Nah, man. All right, here we go. Share the screen. Just stand by. Here we go. And go. All right. So he says, has Bubba Wallace, this is the president, has Bubba Wallace apologized to all of those great NASCAR drivers and officials who came to his aid? Wait, I'm sorry. Let's back up. Has Bubba Wallace apologized to all of those great NASCAR drivers and officials who came to his aid, stood by his side, and were willing to sacrifice everything for him, only to find out the whole thing was just another hoax? That and flag decision has caused lowest ratings ever. That was my 45. He said Bubba should apologize for the hoax, even though I think didn't they have a picture? I think they had a picture that was circulating last week too. But he said it was a hoax because all of the players, I don't know if you saw the video of him in pit row, being, paraded essentially with other racers showing their support. And it was like, we got your back. And he's saying, your president is saying, like, he needs to apologize because those players risked their careers in support of him when, in his words, it turned out to be a hoax. So now you got to think to yourself, how are they risking their career in supporting him? That's interesting. Because whether it was a hoax or not, if they were on the side of this shouldn't have happened to you, how are they risking their careers? That's really telling. You letting the cat out the bag, champ. Oh, somebody said I read it too good and straight through. He can't read that well. Well, I had a glass of water. So I was using two hands to drink it, so that's why my voice was quivering like that because I had the water. But anyway, ridiculous. All right, Amy Cooper. Amy Cooper, if you know, was the let's go to that story. She was the young lady, the dog abuser that was in Central Park while the black gentleman was bird watching, and they had a little encounter, and he started recording her, and she called the police, and now that was a hoax because she was acting like she was under attack. So she's been charged, but take a guess on what she was charged with. This is from the New York Times. Let's just take a guess on what she was charged with. Let's look at this right here. Thanks to all my producers in the booth, man. Really, they really speed things along right here. It's a one-man show. She's charged with a misdemeanor on Monday. Ms. Cooper was charged with this is July 6th, this is today. Ms. Cooper was charged with filing a false report, a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail. Won't happen. The latest fallout from an encounter that resonated across the country and provoked intense discussions about how black people are harmed when sham reports to the police are made about them by white people. Sham reports. Who wrote this? I messed with that giant. When sham reports are made to the police. Charged with a misdemeanor. Probably was pay $150 in court costs and won't see a day in jail. And she got the dog back. You know that? She got the dog back. Misdemeanor. And that happened the same day George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis. The same day. That was part of the conversation that led to where we are now. Misdemeanor. You supposed to get that ass. You're right. Yeah. That was a slap on the wrist. You're supposed to get that ass 6 months just because you was a part of what led to the movement. You're supposed to get 6 months just cause. But here's where we have the issue, right, with the criminal justice system. Like we try to, on one hand, we want to fight the power. But on the other hand, we want to work within the system and in hopes that the system will work for us. But you still get, you still get the BS like a misdemeanor, and like you literally were calling the police in hopes that they would come do harm to me. Like there's no law. I see a lot of people, defund the police, and I see the legislative body. They like we drafting police reform. Part of that police reform should be stiffer penalties for false reports. Right? No, that would have been at the top of the list for me, especially this year if I was in that room. If you call the police or call 911 like they're your customer service, and you know that you're not under attack, and you say you're under this large black male, he's buff, he's got his shoulders out, and there's video, you got to go to jail or something. Like how? The Karen Act, is that what they're calling it now? Pass the Karen Act. I didn't even know that was a thing. That should be, and that would be a perfect name. Most of this, I'm starting to think is, wait a minute, I got to read that again. You typing too fast. You got excited. Most of this, I'm starting to think is orchestrated for real. No, I agree. But I wanted somebody else to say it. Because if I say it, y'all just like, oh, you conspiracy theorists. No, I just ain't a coincidence there. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, Ghislaine-Watch. What day is it? Ghislaine-Watch. When did she get Ghislaine Maxwell? So if you don't know who Ghislaine Maxwell is, watch the documentary on Netflix, Who Killed Jeffrey Epstein? Okay? And then it'll tell you everything you need to know about Ghislaine Maxwell. Actually, it didn't. They didn't really go into her, but she played somebody went into her, but she played a pivotal role. Let's see, when did she get arrested? It says, she got arrested. I got to get the days right because we're on Ghislaine-Watch. It was last week. All right, let's say 4 days. Let's just throw 4 days out there. Ghislaine-Watch. We on Ghislaine-Watch 4 days now. How long till she gets Epsteined? What's your theories? They already say that she released information. I don't know where I can credit this story, but she released the name of over 300 Brits. And people from what they call Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book, but they were all English. They were all UK names. I was like, well, where's the US book? That US book got to be vicious. They named some people like in the Brit book, Mick Jagger, former Prime Minister Tony Blair, and some other people. So it's about to hit the fan, man. Ghislaine-Watch. 4 days in, we count down. I'm not being mean. She just will not get a chance to talk. Trust and believe. TRUSSNBLEEVE. Trust and believe. 7 to 15 days tops if she's really in custody. Oh, you don't even believe they got her. Yeah, she was a madam for pedophiles. That's what she was. All right, let's keep it moving. DC, where you at? Shout out to all my Washington football fans. Hey, man, so here's the conversation is up again. With all this, with your president pulling publicity stunts at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Today they talking about they putting the work on the Dakota pipeline on hold. The Native American discussion is back front and center. And always when that discussion comes back front and center, they talk about the Redskins and whether or not they should change their name. I wish if y'all was really fans of Let's Go Live with Lamont King, you would find me somebody of Native American descent to come on the show that has a problem with the Redskins name and logo. That's who I need to talk to. I need to find somebody of Native American heritage that has a problem with the logo and the face. Because it just feels weird that the times we living in, I get it. It was a slur. There are some historical documents that will lead you to believe it was a slur. And by the same token, because you know who wrote history, there are some other historical documents that will lead you to believe that it was a sign of respect to call them Redskins. And there's other historical documents that you'll read that lead you to believe that they used to call themselves Redskins. So I think in these times, it's very weird that black people are really leading this fight. It's just odd, but I need that vantage point, that person of Native American heritage who finds offense with it, because Daniel Snyder is not giving in. The team owner, he's not giving in. We've seen this before. He don't give a damn. The Redskins merchandise was like number one in the league for many, many years. Their merchandise is top selling. It's iconic. It's legendary. There are reports this week, well, today specifically, that all of his top executives are distancing themselves from him because they don't agree with his position. Walmart, Nike, a handful of other companies have pulled out their sponsorship of the team. FedEx, as you know, they play at FedEx Field. They pulled their money off the table. You know, money talks. So the conversation is getting real. But I just wanted to talk to y'all. About, Rodney said, we wear capes for everybody. That's the problem. I just want to talk to y'all about some possible names. All right. So these are some of the things that came up. Now, I don't know where to verify because they come so fast on social media. And I'm like, is that true? So here's one. Let's show this one. Here's one of the suggestions. I don't know who came up with it. I don't know if it's official. Official or unofficial. It's funny. All right. So the Washington Red Tails. This is the conversation. This is a rendering. This is not an actual photo. That's a logo. Now, according to this meme, it says the name Red Tails celebrates the World War II Tuskegee Airmen, who were the first African-American military aviators in the U.S. Armed Forces. The nickname Red Tails come from their planes, which had a distinct crimson tail. All right, let's talk about that right quick. Pull that out, put it back in. Pause. I'm not actually mad at that. I don't know why. That W is real. It's real crisp. That logo is crisp. It doesn't look like anything else. Kind of has like an Avenger feel. Red Tails, as a tribute, I'm not sure if I like them going from a personified logo about a people and then moving right into another personified logo about a people. However, in context, it forces everybody to have an understanding of, future generations have an understanding of the Tuskegee Airmen. I ain't mad at that. Even if the Redskins continue their losing ways, it'll still be a win for history. I'm not mad at that. Looking at it, I'm really not mad at it. I think they could have snuck the DC flag in there a little bit more. But the W, I'm fine with it. Don't look like the Nationals. It doesn't look like Walgreens. It doesn't look like Wonder Woman. It kind of look like Fatburger though, a little bit. West Coast people check in. I'm not mad at the Red Tails. I'm not. All right. It has an Art Deco nod to it. Yeah, right. It's kind of like an old furniture store, like an old one of them funny old movies where somebody got like a retro crib and everything in their crib is retro, but it's futuristic at the same time. It's kind of like that. All right, let's keep it moving. So here's something I thought about. So let's wait a minute. Let's come back. I gotta see your face. So there was discussion for the Red Hawks, Washington Red Hawks with like a bird on it. The Warriors, but I heard today on sports programming that the Golden State Warriors they got that locked, so you can't have that. But I came across this logo right here, man, for a company that's already in existence. I forgot the name of the people that make this hat. Us Not Them or something like that. But I was like, yo, the bag of money, burgundy and gold, right? Put that on the helmet. The Washington Reparators. Let's get them reparations. You hear me? The Washington Reparators. With the bag of money right there. And if you trace your lineage back to being a native Washingtonian, You get a share of season tickets. You can go to a certain amount of games for free every season forever. You know what I'm saying? The Washington Reparators. You can't tell me that ain't doing it right there. That's not my logo. I do not own the rights to this logo. All right, so here's something I came up with today, and I'll close on this. Everybody mad at the man on the thing, but what if it was the white man? I seen the Washington Caucasians. That was funny. So I took their logo and remixed it a little bit. So what about Washington Representative? Because you can't be the Washington Senators, right? That was the baseball team, but we ain't got no voting power. No representation without no taxation without representation. We ain't got no senators. So you can't be the Washington Senator. That's fake till we get DC statehood. But until then, the Washington Representatives with the white man on there. You know what I'm saying? The white head. Why not? Keep the color scheme. Keep the R. Finesse the logo a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The Washington Representative. Here come the reps. Losing again. You know what I'm saying? They keep their losing ways, but it won't be derogatory. Unless you're white and you find your head on the side of the helmet being offensive. But yeah, I like it. The gentrifiers. Let's go with the gentrifiers. Same logo. You can just really interchangeable with the guy right there. The gentrifiers. Why not? The carpetbaggers. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it, man. I say we do it. All right. Well, there it is, folks. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We had a good old time, man. Thanks to Joe Hill from stopping in. Thanks for everybody who chose not to Skype in because they were scared or whatever. Shout out to Humor Mill Magazine for hosting the show. We're live in the app right now, so download the Humor Mill app. My Patreon. Let's get busy. I'm trying to build that up. All my content is in there, one place for the low. Like as little as 40 cents a day, you can become a patron. But if you want to get that big money, $2 and up, go ahead, slide to my Cash App. I appreciate it. We're broadcasting live from Tiny Closet Studios, so it's a lot going on, a lot of production costs and all that. Send us a couple of dollars, $2, $3. We good with it. And I'm going to close out. We always like to hear from our elders. And this segment I call Hi Dad, where we hear a word from our elder.
Happy every day. This is Alpha Papa's reflections for today. His story versus our story. Walking Eagle is trying to make it look like people that are protesting various issues and forcing statues of his heroes removed are traitors, when in fact those so-called heroes were the traitors, because they committed treason against the United States. His story is their version of what was supposed to have happened. This misconception is by design and purpose. People, wake up and stay awoke. Your Independence Day has not come yet. Research our story and discover our glorious past that was stolen from us as they took us from our motherland and then took the land. Read about our time in slavery when we were forbidden to read. Read how they pitted dark-skinned slaves against light-skinned slaves. The light-skinned slaves were the result of a slave master breeding his own slaves. My grandmother is a result of a slave master's son raping my grandmother. I found this out by doing research with my older cousins. Sometimes research will throw you for a loop because our story is not always pleasant, but we must learn the truth. Read and share. The truth may make you happy, sad, and will make you more informative. Peace and blessings. Happy Alpha Papa.
All right, there it is, a word from our elder. Hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Same time tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in, spread the word, share the love, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Be safe, man.